morning, good morning, grade 10s. We are in the last section of the factoring unit. It's actually easier than the last section, so I kind of saved the best for last, I guess. So we're just going to go through the notes today. I'm going to do this in two pieces, though, because I want you to have some time to digest and process and work on some things, and then we'll come back and we'll do a second video for part 2 of section 3.8. Okay, so we're going to start practicing factoring perfect square trinomials, and what the name says it all. Okay, they have perfect squares in them. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the reverse of this. I'm going to show you where the connection is to grade 9 and the multiplication of binomials using FOIL. That's what some teachers call it. You know that I call it double distribution. Okay, we want to be able to do this by sight. So that's why we're going to take it up a notch here, and then I'm going to give you an assignment that you can work on this a little bit, and it's just going to be not hard, but you're just going to have to think a little bit more about it. So normally when we see x plus 3 squared, we know that it's x plus 3 times x plus 3, and then we double distribute and we get x squared plus 3x, and then we do the bottom one plus 3x plus 9, and we gather up our like terms and we get x squared plus 6x plus 9 as our total. Okay, what I'm going to show you though is I want you to be able to do it like this, and you just kind of chant this to your square to yourself: square double product square. So I'm going to do this again. We're going to take a look at this one. Okay, you take a look at the first term and you go, what is the square of x? And it is x squared. Now double product. Product means we multiply. So what's x times 3? 3x. If we double that, guess what we get? 6x. And then square. What's the square of 3? 9. Okay, so let's just try this without using double distribution. What is 2x squared? 4x squared. Double product is how we get the middle term. So what's 2x times 1? 2x. If we double that, we get 4x. And then the square of the last term, which is 1. And now we're done. Okay, now I'm just going to do it the long way again, just to prove it to you. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared, 2x times 1 is 2x, and then 1 times 2x is also 2x, and then 1 times 1 is 1. We gather up our like terms, we come right back to this, so we know that it works. So square, double product, square. That's what we're going to think. Now I'm going to add a negative in here because we have to really think about this. Okay, square of x, x squared. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. If we double that, we get negative 4x. If we square negative 2, though, we're going to get plus 4. Okay, moving on. Square. The square of 3x is 9x squared. Negative 4 times 3x is negative 12x. If we double that, we get negative 24x. If we square negative 4, we get plus 16. So I want you to be able to do that in your head. Okay, so knowing that the square of a binomial results in a trinomial square, now we can go in reverse, and that's how we can find the factors of a perfect square trinomial. Okay, so you have these exact notes hopefully sitting in front of you. Okay, so again, I'm going to go through the rules, and we always know that that sounds like blah, blah, blah till we go through them. But there's something that's important, characteristics of a trinomial square. There are 3 terms, obviously. That's what trinomial means, okay? The terms can be arranged in either plus, 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 or plus, minus, plus. If there is a negative in your trinomial, it must be with the middle term, okay? It can't be any other way. The first and the last terms are perfect squares, okay? That makes sense. And then the square of half the middle term is the product of the outside terms. Now that one's always a little bit goofy, but so we're going to go through these. So let's do example number 1. Is it a trinomial? Yes. Are they arranged plus, 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 or plus, minus, plus? Well, it's plus, 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 so that's a check. Are the first and last terms perfect squares? 4x squared is indeed a perfect square, and 9 is a perfect square. Let's do this last one now. What is half of 12x? 6x. Okay. What's 6x squared? 36x squared. What's 4x squared times 9? 36x squared. Okay, Now, to be honest, we're just going to only have perfect square trinomials to work on here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how easy these are to solve. Once you've determined that they're perfect square trinomials, you go like this. You find the square root of the first term. So that would be 2x. You take the sign that is sitting in the middle term, you write it down, you simply find the square of the last term, and now remember that factors have to have 2 of them, and so you just simply write squared. So what I'm saying to you is that 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3 is 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. Okay, let's try the next one. Is it a trinomial? Yes. Does it go plus, 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 or plus, minus, plus? Well, in this case, it goes plus, minus, plus, but that still works. Are the first and last terms perfect squares? 4 is a perfect square. 25x squared is a perfect square. Okay, what's half of negative 20x? Negative 10x. Negative 10x squared is positive 100x squared, and 4 times 25x squared is 100x squared, so that works. So how are we going to solve this? Square root of 4 is 2. We take the sign from the middle, that's important, and now we find the square root of 25x squared, which is 5x. We can close it in brackets, and we write down squared because we know that both factors are exactly the same, so that's a shortcut way of showing that. Okay, now we're going to get to some U tries, and this is where we're going to stop today. Okay, we're going to do 4 of these together because I'm not there in front of the board with you to check on your work, so we're going to work through these, and then I'm going to give you an assignment, and then we're going to work on this again tomorrow. Okay, plus, 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 perfect square, perfect square. How do we solve this? 36x squared, the square root of that is 6x. The sign sitting in the middle is a plus. Square root of 1 is 1, and let's not forget we have to write down a square on top of that because we have to remember that these actually has 2 factors. They're exactly the same. That's the shortcut. 16 is a perfect square. The square root of that is 4. The sign sitting in the middle term is a subtraction sign. Square root of 49x squared is 7x, and we write down a square. Plus, minus, plus, perfect square, perfect square. Square root of 4x squared is 2x. The sign in the middle term is a negative. Square root of 9 is 3. And we're going to write down a squared here. Plus, minus, plus, perfect square, perfect square. Half of negative 28 is negative 14. And negative 14 squared is going to be positive 196. And if you x squared, and if you multiply 49 times 4, trust me, you get 196 x squared. Okay, square root 7x, sign that's sitting there, subtraction, square root of 4 is 2, and we're going to write this down. And that's where I'm going to stop, and you'll see that I've posted practice for perfect square trinomials only, okay? And then we're also going to go back and we're going to have a look at this because I know the senior math teachers love it when you can do this in your head. Square, double product, square, and I know you're going to nail it. Okay, talk to you soon.